Wish.com Captain America. He looks exactly like the dude from Up.
Which is not a compliment, by the way. It's probably the worst thing you could hear. Hey everybody, and welcome to Twin Talk, a video discussion show where twin brothers Chris and Kevin drink and draw. We'll talk about comic books, movies, and all things pop culture. We are your hosts, Chris Hart,
Kevin Hart.
and today we're going to be talking about the premiere episode of The Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Stick around to the end of the episode, see how we're drawing a Bucky Barnes, aka the Winter Soldier, came out. And if you like what you see, subscribe to the channel for more content.
So here we are, the next Disney Plus Marvel television series is out, The Falcon and the Winter Soldier, fresh off the hit WandaVision, which we found slightly disappointing, but now we have a new chance to delve right back into the MCU, see the new flavor of this show. We assume it's going to be more closely related to traditional superhero storytelling and the political thriller aspect of movies like The Winter Soldier, Civil War, and all the Captain America films.
We get familiar faces in Anthony Mackie as the Falcon, Sam Wilson, and also Sebastian Stan as Bucky Barnes, the Winter Soldier. Good to see them. Interesting to see how it's going to play out, even with Don Cheadle's in the show. I didn't know that, actually, how it's going to play out on this television aspect. I think it's 6 episodes we got in the first season. I don't know if they're going to do more seasons after this, but obviously we know that we're going to be getting Daniel Bruhl back as Baron Zemo, which I'm ecstatic to see.
Yeah, me too.
Finally, with the purple mask and everything else, looking straight out of the comic books.
Wyatt Russell is playing John Walker, a.k.a. the USAgent, who seems to be taking the place of Captain America.
Great actor. I loved him in Overlord. I loved him in, I think he was in Black Mirror Season 3 in that playtest episode.
It was a cool episode.
He's an underrated actor. I think he needs to find more work, so it's cool to see him doing something this kind of like blockbuster-esque with Marvel. Yeah. I'm excited to see what he does with the USAgent. But for this first appearance we see at the end of this episode, this like next, knockoff Wish.com Captain America, he looks exactly like the dude from Up. The Disney plug, man. They were like, we got to make him look like the dude from Up.
It's pretty shocking how closely related they look.
Yeah.
Which is not a compliment, by the way. It's probably the worst thing you could hear.
Definitely not good. But he's a great actor, and I'm excited. He's a charming dude. I loved him in Overlord, man. He was definitely
awesome
charismatic as an American soldier.
He was a badass in that,
the protagonist. He was great. So I'm excited to see him kind of like bring that flair to this show. And, obviously we're trying to find that missing link between Steve Rogers, Chris Evans as Captain America, and we see Sam Wilson and Bucky Barnes kind of trying to fill that gap. They're kind of like doing their own thing right now. They haven't even met yet in this series. Bucky, I love his aspect of the fact that he's like kind of like trying to pay for the sins he's made in the past. And I love that. That's one of my favorite things about the Winter Soldier is that he's trying to reconcile.
Atone for his sins.
Yeah, reconcile what he's done in the past against his will, sad to say. And it's also great to see that he's basically Captain America too. Captain America was a man at a time. He was almost like a loner. But with Bucky, at least had his best bro, to be with him in this new age. So it's cool to see how he deals with this now that Cap has pretty much aged out.
We obviously know from the events of Endgame, Steve goes back in time and he comes back and he's aged. He spent all those years, finding love with Peggy, and they had their dance, which was so deserved. After saving the universe several dozen times,
yeah,
the guy finally deserved that dance with the love of his life. But we see that he's aged on, he's moved on. He handed the shield over to Sam Wilson, the Falcon, and we see that he starts off this episode by bringing it back to the government and saying that, I can't take up this larger-than-life symbol. It belongs to you, Captain America. And he hands it back, and they're like, you made the right decision. It was cool seeing them on their own different paths, Falcon and Winter Soldier, because we're so used to seeing these heroes come together in these grand, larger-than-life action superhero movies. And in this one, they're kind of just like laying low, chilling.
Falcon's just like delivering like food.
Bubblegum shrimp. He's trying to save the Jenny, the USS Jenny.
Yeah, exactly.
And Winter Soldier's just kind of like living in an apartment, trying to like
he's just shot at the shot, trying to bury the past, trying to forget.
His nightmare sequence was cool. Of like his old mission as Bucky, the Winter Soldier. I'm sorry, where he kills. We see this young man who ends up being the son of this older. It was the son, right? Of this older man that he's like kind of befriended. He's trying to make his rounds to try to figure out how to make up for the evil things he did in the past.
I'm glad that they gave Sam Wilson the shield in Endgame, because it was like controversial, because Bucky has taken up the shield, obviously he became Captain America, but also Sam Wilson, his friend from the New Age, also is deserving too. And Bucky in the MCU, he's brutal.
Falcon's been
brutal.
He was recently Captain America for a while in the comics too.
Yeah,
and I loved it. I thought it was awesome.
Yeah, gorgeous suit design, great art.
Stuart Immonen is great with that character design.
I'm excited to see how these kind of like this buddy cop political thriller will turn out, because obviously the guy who was like, oh, thank you for giving up the shield, he's the one that's like, oh, America needs a hero, they need the face of, and there's like your new Captain America, and here comes like Captain America made in China.
It's gonna take 9 months before it gets delivered
exactly
to your door, and it's not gonna look like what it did online.
Yeah.
I think it's like all over the internet already, and it's
already a meme.
Overall, though, not much really happened in this episode. We just kind of catch up with them. The show starts off with an awesome action sequence of Falcon, saving this one fellow army officer from Batroc the Leaper, which was nice to see.
That was cool to see. Yeah.
The return of Batroc, because he's such a throwaway character in the comics. Like he's like laughable at best, and he's always like leap, 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 and he just says like French puns and gets his ass kicked by every hero in the Marvel universe. So it's cool to see that he is a returning character in this, because he was a badass in Winter Soldier. I was like, wow, they took him
serious
to another level. So that was cool.
There was these guys with masks, like this terrorist organization, the
Flag Smashers. Yeah, I know them briefly from an Amazing Spider-Man comic I read years back, and they are kind of just like these like freedom fighters, aka terrorists, that go around trying to like bring upon a new world order where there's no flags, there's no borders, there's no different nations. They want to bring a world united, but they don't go about it in the most productive way.
I know you theorized it might be the hand, because it's literally
it was a handprint on their face. I was like, oh, I wonder if they're going to incorporate Daredevil and his ninja clan at some point in this at all. Apparently that's not the case, but it's cool just to see like a new aspect of Flag Smashers. All these little like characters in the Marvel universe from the comic books, like they use them as like these side characters. So that's cool. They're obviously going to be a threat in this show, and I'm excited to see where they go with it.
I even like the Falcons, like now almost like his like Sam Wilson, the buddy guy who was like capturing the Flag Smashers, like going in and doing the right thing. He's cool.
That guy's cool. I don't know what his name was. I don't remember.
I forget his name, but I like him so far. He's a likable character.
Yeah, he was trying to do the right thing by taking in that guy, and he got his ass handed to him. But it's a good thing that he had like the iPhone in his pocket.
Yeah.
Because he captured it on tape and stuff. And it looks like that guy might have like super soldier serum himself.
Yeah.
Because he was like throwing people.
He was pretty like strong. Yeah.
I was like, I wonder where they're going with that. Like, because at the end of Civil War, they killed all those like super soldiers, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Zemo kills all of them. So I guess we'll see what happens. Zemo could be behind all of it, honestly.
I know. Yeah.
The one thing I will say though is I'm definitely looking forward to seeing the show pick up the pace more. This was a nice like first introduction. Nothing big really happened. It was just like a setup show.
When it ended, we were like, wait, that's it?
It flew by, and we're coming off Snyder Cut, which was like the movie was 2 weeks long, so watching a 47-minute show. This thing flew by. But I'm definitely looking forward to seeing Zemo show up, because I've always loved his look and his character design from the comic books. That purple mask with like the fur around it.
Gorgeous.
He's always got the sword and stuff. I hope they bring in a sword. And that was one of the things I felt like they dropped the ball on in Civil War, was when I remember when they said that Zemo was going to be the villain. I was like, oh, that's awesome.
Even the concept art was
And there was concept art of him in this. The look that he has in the series now was concept art for Civil War, and they just abandoned it. So I'm glad to see that they're doing the right thing and making him look comic accurate in this show. And he's a great actor too. So
character gets some redemption. Yeah, he's perfect. He's perfect to
play good, like
the German, villain. He's great for that.
And one thing I liked too is that, like one of the army officers was asking like where Captain America is, where is Steve, is he on the moon and stuff.
Yeah.
So that's cool that he kind of like got his piece to move on. He's older now. Nobody recognizes him. Yeah. I wonder if he's ever going to come back as Captain America. I know there was rumors that Chris Evans was going to come back, right?
Yeah.
So if he does, I wonder if that'll be flashbacks or a new storyline,
or if he's old Cap.
That
was him playing old Cap.
Yeah.
With either prosthetics or like digital makeup.
There's a little bit of both from behind the scenes.
I would love if they bring him in somehow, because it seems like the whole point of the show is to get the rightful, almost like the heir to the shield, right? Like the shield, who's it belong to? This legacy,
who's deserving
America,
of it,
who's deserving of it? And there seems to be like this political undertone going on, and I'm excited to see how that plays out, because obviously, in the real world, politics, there's some like underhanded stuff that happens here and there. So it might be cool to see that take of this U.S. agent, like almost like The Boys, kind of, right? Like how they're kind of like frauds to the public, but then there's like almost like a
shady
intent going on behind the scenes. So that'd be cool to see more of a kind of dive into that a little bit more as well, like with the whole Hydra thing and everything else.
Yeah, that would play nicely into the, especially now in our days with politics the way it is. I've always loved the Falcon's costume in the comics.
Mm-hmm.
It's very like odd, but it's cool.
They make it work well. Yeah,
it looks cool. Like this is more comic accurate. He's got with like the red and white stripes. So that's cool to see. And his use of the wings in this was awesome. Great action sequence to start the show off.
It's like almost like a defense thing. It's great. And Red Wing's awesome too. I love how he's almost like this like sentient robot being that he's
it's
like,
a cool take on the
instead
character.
of being like the actual Falcon.
bird. Yeah. And Anthony Mackie is such a likable actor in person.
Mm-hmm.
He's very funny. He's just such a charismatic guy. And we were saying it halfway through the show. We're like, we love Anthony Mackie. Like,
so likable.
He's so funny. He's so good. So
he's almost like today's Will Smith, if I will. Even though Will Smith is still very relevant.
Yeah.
But he's almost like got that like persona, and that
charm,
love that.
yeah.
Yeah, that charm. Yep. And even Sebastian Stan. It's gonna be cool to see like these characters, like the serious guy with like the kind of like charismatic dude, kind of bounce off each other.
And we already know from previous movies that they have a good like rivalry, bro rivalry.
I love when he's like, first of all, they're always like trying to say like, oh, like I'm Steve's best friend type deal.
Yeah.
And
one
he's
up
like,
each other. And all
yeah,
that.
exactly. And then like that one, well, I forget which movie it was in, Civil War.
With the car?
With the car. He's like, can you move your seat up? He's like, no.
He
like, won't even give him the leg room.
That's great, yeah. So we're looking forward to the rest of the series. Let us know what you guys thought in the comments below. What did you guys think of episode 1?
We're going to be reviewing episode by episode. Again, like we said, I think there's 6 episodes in total. Mm-hmm. Probably about midway through the season, we'll probably draw Baron Zemo. And then for the finale or series review, we're going to draw Sam Wilson as the Falcon. So stick around for those videos. We also reviewed Snyder Cut that just came out. We're going to be reviewing Godzilla vs. Kong. We did a whole legendary Monsterverse dedicated video series to that. So if you want, subscribe to the channel. Check those videos out as well.
And don't forget to submit your fan art, too, to any of those projects. We've been asking for fan art for any of the upcoming movies that have been coming out, whether it's Snyder Cut, Godzilla vs. Kong, WandaVision, and obviously this show, Falcon and Winter Soldier. So feel free to send your fan art to us. We would love to show it on the channel here.
You can use the hashtag TwinTalk on Instagram at twintalkbros or send us an email at twintalkbros@gmail.com. Anyways, that about wraps up today's episode of Twin Talk. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up, comment below to join the discussion, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more content. We'll see you next time. Peace!